Alright guys, if you are here ready, we are going to be streaming in a minute. We're just waiting on to a few more people join us, so just give us a minute. I'm just streaming on my phone. Make sure you have the question paper with you, so make sure you have this ready. Thank you for the comments about my professional text there. Alright, give it a minute and I'll be back in. Okay, we're going to start. No face reveals. Okay, make sure you get the question paper because we're going to go through the first question now. Can everyone hear me? Someone write something you can hear me. You'll hear me? Yep, thank you. Yes, thank you. Well done, guys. Okay, right. You need to make sure you've got this question paper. So we're going to be looking at the table first of all. It's a little bit blurry on here, so I will just make my. Well, if you've got the question paper, it's not going to be an issue. So, right. Question 1 here is only for 2 marks. It's looking at the table above here, and it's asking you to make sure that you know basically what a 2D array is. Okay, so it's looking at listing, and the only thing you really need to look at in this first question is making sure you understand how a 2D array works. So with a 2D array, we need to make sure we understand what order the 2 numbers are in. The first number goes across and the second number will go down. So in this position here, he says print hours played 3-2. So it's position 3 followed by 3 across followed by position 2 down. So if we look at the output being 20 here, looking at the table, 60 here, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we start again from here. So this is 0, 1, 2, and that's how they get to 20, which is that one there, obviously. Okay, so write the code for the to output the number of minutes student 0 played computer games on Wednesday. All right, so it's going to be the same format as here. So you want to make sure that you're not losing marks by just getting overexcited and just writing the positions there. So it's print hours played, and then obviously we need the positions here. So if it's student 0 on Wednesday, we're going across for student 0. So they are in 0, which is this one here. So they're in this column here. So the first number is going to be 0. And if we're looking at Wednesday, these are numbered. So Monday is 0, Tuesday is 1, Wednesday is 2. So it's going to be 0 and 2. Okay? And that is how that question would look. So it's all just about making sure that you know which way around here to actually read the 2D array, is basically what it is. So state the output if Heath runs this code. 2 and 1 here, this is going to be pretty straightforward for you guys if you've been listening. So position 2, yes, this was in one of our exams. I'm just using an old exam paper, well spotted. But again, this is something that people didn't know, so this is why we're going through it again now. And this is just a warm up anyway. So position 2, first of all, so we're going across here again. So 0, 1 and 2 is going to be in this column here. And then 1 is the second bit, so 1 down, so 0 and 1. That is going to be 0, because that's where we land on the table at 0. So the answer to that question is 0, guys. The next one here, this one's just pretty straightforward. You're just adding the 2 together. So you need to find out what is at 3, 1, and then you need to find out what is at 3, 2. So you're going 3 across to start off. So looking at the table here, so 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going 1 down. So we go 0 and 1. The first number is going to be 60. So 60 plus, and this one's 3, 2. So again, just go across it, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 0, 1, 2. We get the 20 there. So plus 20, our answer here is going to be 80. All right, so let's just warm you up, a little bit of 2D arrays there, just to get you thinking about 2D arrays really. So we are now going to look at, have a look at that one, question 2, which is more what I wanted to look at today really. Okay, so write an algorithm to output the total number of minutes student 0 played computer games from Monday. Okay, so we do need the, it is a little bit blurry. I'm not sure why it's blurry. Okay, it's not your McDonald's internet. No, I'm really not sure why that's blurry. Oh, maybe that'll do it actually. Okay, that's a bit better. I've got the flash on now. All right, everybody, calm down. So, oh God. Right, everybody concentrate now, okay? It's not blurry anymore, thank you. Everybody concentrate, we've got the flash on. So this next question here, write an algorithm to output the total number of minutes student 0 play computer games from Monday, day 0 to Friday, day 4. So you don't, it's saying, it's looking at the table, but really it doesn't really need the table. You're gonna write this algorithm and there's 3 marks for it. So you need to work out where you're going to get those 3 marks from. So the 3 marks are going to come from firstly using the correct elements, so the correct elements to build the algorithm, outputting correctly as well, and then finally using a loop. So if we have student 0 play computer games from Monday, day 0 to Friday, day 4. So what this will do, what we need to do basically, we need to use a for loop here. So the for loop is going to start at position 0 and it's going to cycle through all the days. So it's going to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we'll use this in the 2D array. So the student that's going to be looking at is 0, but the day is going to be X because that will cycle through. So we're going to start off, because we're going to end up with a total, we'll do a total variable here, so total equals 0. And then we need to construct the for loop here. So this is pseudocode, so it's up to you exactly how you write the code. What we need to be doing here, so for X in range, and then, so this is how you would literally write it in Python. So I'm just going to make it a little bit less Python-y by not putting the brackets in here. So for X in range 0 to 4, do, okay, so you could do the following. You could do a flowchart for this, but like we said, Jago, I'm not sure if you were there the other day when we were looking at it. what I was saying for this one was that it's quicker to do the pseudocode, okay? Because with the flowcharts, you're always going to have, lines and rulers and stuff like that. So I know it's not very quick for me doing it right now, but I promise you it is quicker doing the pseudocode instead of the flowcharts. So we've done our for loop basically, or we started the for loop here, and now we basically need to add up the total here. So we're going to continue to add this total. So total needs to equal itself. That's the first point of it. And we need to add to that the amount of hours played. So we are looking at the hours played print, sort of the hours played function we used in the previous question. So that's the only thing really that's been carried over. All right, now the final bit here is where are you looking? So we need two positions here. The first position is the student we want to look at, and the second position is the day we want to look at there. So it says in the question we want student 0, so we know that is position 0 here. And then because we're cycling through the days here, the for loop, it starts at 0 and then it goes all the way through the days. So Monday is 0, Tuesday is 1, Wednesday is 2, Thursday is 3, Friday is 4. Okay, so we use X. All right, we then need to advance the X. So you could just do like, next X. Okay, or if you wanted to do it like X equals X plus 1 or something like that, that would be fine. And then we finally just finish off by printing the total. Okay, so where would the marks come from for this question then? So you've got the use of a loop here. The for loop would get you 1 mark. You have got outputting correctly, so this part here where you take the total and you add the hours played to it, this is going to be your correct output there. And then finally adding all the elements correctly, that's going to be that mark. And then finally outputting correctly, just printing the total, that's going to be your 3rd mark for you there. Okay, let's get back on track, guys. There's a lot of people just chatting away in the chat, and I'd like to see you actually focusing on what we are doing. So let's have a look at this next question. So this one here, write a subroutine that takes the number as a parameter and returns the day of the week as a string. So this is actually a pretty straightforward one, and you can do it in a number of ways. It's worth 5 marks. The 5 marks that you can get from this though, guys, I'm being serious now. If you want me to do more of these, you're going to need to pack it in on the chat for a minute, unless you've got a question, all right? Or else I'm not going to be able to do any more. So if you actually, like the different ways of doing this one, it's pretty straightforward. So basically it's saying that if the user is putting in 0, we need to return the day as Monday. If it's 1, we need to return the day as Tuesday, and so on. So you get 5 marks for this straight away. The first mark is going to come from basically by declaring this as a function. So def return day. Okay, so I've said that this is a function. All right, that's pretty straightforward for there. And next, all I need to do is work out how I would go about going through the if, elif and else statement for the Monday to Tuesday. So we need an input statement here first of all. So we'll just take it as sort of user input equals, we want them to put in an integer. So int enter 0 to 4, I think it is. And then we will go from here. So now we're going to start with the if statement. Just try and sort that a bit. Okay. So the first bit is, so if user input is the same as 0, we're going to display or print Monday. Okay. So all we're going to be doing here is all literally is we're going to be doing the same thing here, if then an elif statement until we cover all of the days. So there's obviously going to be elif. We would do all the elif statements. I'll just do the last one here. So it would be elif user input equals 4 print Friday. I'm going to pretend that I put the rest of them in, and you can actually put the rest of them in there. And the else statement is the final thing you get for. So else, basically you print invalid, and then we would ask the user, ask for the user input again or something like that. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways to do this. Equals like the inputs, int inputs. Oh, that is something I forgot a second ago actually. This here, we need an input here as well, or else we'll lose a mark for that. Okay. So if we have a quick check through what you're actually going to get on the marks here. An appropriate declaration as a function, you've defined this as return day, so there is your first mark there. The use of selection, so you've used if, elif, so that is fine, that's going to be your second mark there. An appropriate comparison, so here if user input equals 0, so here's your comparison for every single one, so that's going to be your third mark. Correct. You get a mark for correctly identifying each day, so 0 is Monday and then 4 is Friday, that gets you a mark there as well. And your final mark comes from having an invalid clause at the end here, so that is your final mark there. Okay, so that's how you get your 5 marks there. There is a more efficient way of writing out 6 elif statements. It's using a case statement instead. So, but Python doesn't use case statements, so you guys wouldn't be familiar with a case statement. But basically, what a case is, it displays like this. So case 0, return day equals Monday. Okay, and you would just do the case again. So you do case 1, case 2, and all the rest of it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then you would use the case statement instead. But I've done it as an if statement because I know you guys know if, elif, and else statements. Okay, right. So looking at the next one here. Question 5, final question. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. You certainly seem like you've been enjoying it. But remember, if we're not sensible, we won't be able to do this again. So let's make sure we're being sensible here. Okay, so this one here, Jim is writing a program to calculate the wages of workers in a teddy bear factory. The wages earned by a worker is either £2 for every teddy bear they have made or £5 for every hour they have worked, whichever is larger. Write an algorithm that allows the user to input the number of teddy bears made and the number of hours worked, calculate the wages for the number of teddy bears made, calculate the wages for the number of hours worked, and output the larger of the 2 results. This is a 6-mark question, so we need to make sure we're actually hitting all of the points that you need. You get marked firstly for allowing the user to input the teddy bears and hours. So we could literally just have sort of like bears equal int input, okay, and then you write a little statement in there, and then hours equals int input. I'm just writing a little statement in there as well. This is quite Python-y, but you could simplify this down, make this into a little bit more like pseudocode. So that's actually your first mark. By just identifying the fact that the user needs to input bears and hours, that gets you 1 mark there. The second mark comes from looking at this and realizing that however many bears they input, if you times it by 2, you're going to get the total number of the total amount of money they're going to make from those bears. So we could do a bears total equals 2 times bears. So bears total now contains 2 times whatever they've put in there. Now the hours is going to be pretty much the same here. So, you know, hours or hours total equals 5 times hours. Okay, so these two are going to be your next 2 marks. So that's 1 mark there, this is 1 mark, and this is 1 mark as well. So you're up to 3 marks already for your 6-mark question. The next one here is the comparison. You need to compare these 2 answers, because that is what the question is asking us to do. So compare the answers and then output whichever one is larger. So we need to actually look at this one here. So quick if statement in here. So if bears total is greater than hours total, okay, we would print the bears total. Okay, so if this is greater than this, we'd print the bears total. Else, so the else statement would be if hours is greater than the bears, we would print, the hours total. Hours total. Okay, and that is literally it. We have outputting the piece rate, outputting, so this part here, this would get you a mark. This one here would get you the mark as well, and using the comparison here, that would get you your mark. Okay, so you have 1 mark for the input statements, 2 marks here for for correctly identifying that you need to do 2 times bears and 5 times hours. You have 1 mark here for using the correct comparison. You have another mark for then outputting correctly total bears, and your final mark is outputting the hours total there. Okay, so that is everything we're going to be going through today. So I hope you got a little bit out of that, and I hope you've now done this homework. I'll be collecting this in from you next week, and then we will do another one of these next week, so you can carry on enjoying these lovely live streams. Okay, so be good everybody, and I will see you later.